The hilltops south of Jerusalem, north of the Palestinian city of Bethlehem, are emerging as the latest battleground between Israel and its closest Western allies. With the peace process at a dead end, Benjamin Netanyahu's government is expanding settlements on the southern fringes of Jerusalem, on occupied Palestinian lands that the Palestinians say do further damage to their chances of ever creating a viable independent state. On October 27th, the Israeli Prime Minister, who faces a growing political challenge from right-wingers in his coalition, announced plans to build more than 1,000 new homes and settlements in East Jerusalem, bringing swift criticism from the U.S., which said the move would be incompatible with the pursuit of peace. A few weeks previously, Israel approved plans to develop Givat Hamatos, a hilltop site in East Jerusalem, building 2,600 housing units on land the international community recognizes as Palestinian. Here at Givat Hamatos, right now there are just a few caravans here, but Israel has plans to do a mega settlement, which the Palestinians are sharply critical of, and which the Western world wants Israel to stop. If developed, Givat Hamatos would complete a band of settlements around Bethlehem that would cut off one of the West Bank's biggest cities from East Jerusalem, where the Palestinians want their future capital.
Givat Hamatos is located in South Jerusalem, and if it will be established, it will cause a physical barrier between the Gilo neighborhood in South Jerusalem to Har Choma neighborhood in South Jerusalem, and this barrier will be between Bethlehem and East Jerusalem. The build-up of Givat Hamatos will just make finding a solution for Jerusalem much more difficult, and it will be a heavy blow for the Palestinians.
In Bethlehem, which is already separated from Jerusalem by Israel's security wall, officials say the tightening ring of settlements will further curb the city's ability to expand in future, isolate it even more from the rest of the West Bank, and in so doing harm an already struggling local economy.
You need investment, you need agricultural land in order to have industrial agricultural industries. And all in all, by this, it confiscates all the possibility for a viable economy. The highest rate of immigration is taking place. People are trying to go away, not only Christians, Muslims as well. People seek better life, better job opportunities. And now many young people go to Europe and to Arab Emirates and the Arab world. And Bethlehem is losing its existence.
Israeli settler leaders, who have powerful backers inside Benjamin Netanyahu's right-wing government, say they need to develop too, and are only building inside big built-up settlement blocks that would be swapped with the Palestinians as part of any future peace deal. Efrat, a settlement to the southwest of Bethlehem, has 10,000 residents now, but wants to grow another 60% to 16,000 or more people over the coming 5 years, on what Israel classifies as state land, but the Palestinians point out as an integral part of their occupied homeland.
I think in order to reach an agreement, both parties need to sit around the table and reach that agreement. But at the end of the day, just like the Palestinians are building, the Israelis have need, and that's why the Israeli government is building.
The situation on the ground around Bethlehem is rather more complex and less orderly. East of Efrat, Palestinians in a West Bank area Israelis call Givat Etam say they are being harassed aggressively by outpost settlers seeking to build a permanent settlement there. The settlers' case is tied up in court, but if the ruling is delivered in their favor, Bethlehem will be nearly encircled by settlements and cut off from other Palestinian communities to its northwest and south.
The holy city, now their surrounding, it's closed. From the north, it's closed. From the east and the west, remaining only the south of Bethlehem. If they succeed to take this position, Bethlehem, it will be closed.
On a visit to Israel in October, UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon called on Mr. Netanyahu to abandon the country's plans to expand settlements around Jerusalem, and urged both Palestinians and Israelis to return rapidly to peace talks, which last fell apart in April. While the Obama administration is also sharply critical of the new developments, and European countries speak of red lines they will not allow Israel to cross, in fact, the outside world's leverage may prove weak against the powerful lobbies representing Israel's more than 500,000 settlers in East Jerusalem and the West Bank. Israel is determined to continue construction in the West Bank, and in doing so it's putting itself on a collision course with its Western allies.
John Reed near Bethlehem for the Financial Times.